for more on what the NBA suspending its season could mean for the media business. We're joined on the Squawk Newsline by Richard Greenfield, media analyst at LightShed Partners. Good morning to you, Richard. As you start to do new math, I don't know if you're doing new math on all of your companies this morning, but how's it changed?
Look, this is a real problem for everyone. Obviously, it all depends how long this lasts. I think everyone listening needs to think about a few major issues. One, the leagues get paid regardless. So whether or not games are played, the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball are going to get paid their rights fees. So that's good for league owners. This is exactly what happened when there were lockouts. As Julia was just saying, though, advertising goes into free fall because obviously there's no advertising revenue if there's no games. So that's a huge problem. And I think the bigger question is the TV ad market across television has really held up remarkably well during this crisis. This could be the sort of outside catalyst that really causes the dam to sort of break, for the ad market. So that's something we're watching very closely, and I think investors are really curious about this morning is how does this kind of outside shock to the ad system, what does it mean to TV advertising? And then the big question is the affiliate fees. So the retransmission fees, the affiliate fees that are paid by cable and satellite operators to these cable networks. Right. Now, the NBA season is 79% over. The NHL season is over 80% over. So they've satisfied their minimum delivery requirements. And so the TNTs, the ESPNs, they're going to get paid their fees by cable and satellite operators. The part I don't know, Andrew, is what happens if baseball season doesn't happen. Then you have a big question of whether those rights fees are in danger. And so the longer this lasts, the bigger the problem. And it's also worth thinking about that ad revenue would still come back if the NBA playoffs happen over the summer. Because I think everyone needs to remember, this is suspended, not canceled at the current time.
Hey, Rich, another question I have for you is, you look at a lot of the streamers. Netflix has obviously held up remarkably well during this period. You would think that this would be a boon for the new Disney Plus service because more people would be at home wanting to watch these services. However, there's also the issue of production, which is to say that a lot of these networks need shows, and a lot of those shows, I'm imagining, over the next several months, the production of them is going to slow. We've already heard about a number of shows which have either postponed the beginning of their own production. So what does that mean for churn and everything else that relates to it?
Well, look, I think this is sort of the brilliance of Reed Hastings and Ted Sarandos in having a company that's developing content all over the world. There's 180 series being created outside of the U.S. And so there's a tremendous amount of content that they're creating that isn't in the U.S., that isn't in Spain. Certainly there's no production in China. So I think that's a meaningful benefit. Obviously, if the entire world comes to a halt in terms of production for months, this is going to be an issue for everyone, including for Netflix. But if you think about the amount of content these companies have in their libraries, there is a lot of stuff that you and I and Joe and Becky haven't burned through on Netflix. I think services like Disney Plus are going to be tougher where they haven't really built up fresh content over the last couple of years. It's a new service, really only one new show in Mandalorian. Obviously, a lot of catalog content that'll keep kids busy, younger kids busy. But, I think the Netflixes are Amazon Prime, Hulu, they're going to be meaningful beneficiaries, although, I think the one thing to think about on Hulu is the big driver of Hulu content is last night's TV. If last night's TV production starts to slow, that's going to be an issue for them. They don't have global resources.
What does this do to the launch of Peacock? And I'll also suggest to you that Quibi, Jeffrey Katzenberg's project, is supposed to be up and running next month.
Well, look, I think, obviously with Peacock, in many ways, it creates, well, first of all, I guess two things. One, we don't know the level of production that's in the can for Peacock right now. So that's a huge question. And remember, Peacock was only launching next month to Comcast subscribers. It wasn't launching for everyone else until the Olympics. And I guess, Andrew, the big question right now, if you had a handicap, what do you think happens with the Olympics? Are we going forward?
I think it's going to be very tough, Rich.